guys, on this video we're going to take a look at the difference of cubes. So I saw a lot of my students struggling with this type of questions of difference of how to factorize the difference of cubes, and the reason why a lot of you guys are failing to factorize the difference of cubes is because you haven't yet understand the pattern behind each and every difference of two cubes question. Each and every question that is has a difference of cube and they need you to factorize, they all have the same pattern in them, that once you figure out that kind of a pattern, you are good to go, So you might be wondering what kind of pattern that you're talking about. So the pattern I'm talking about here, let me just give you an example with using a simple equation. Let's say we have a cubed minus b cubed, So this is a difference of cubes also, So when you're factorizing the difference of cubes, all of them, they have the same thing in common. You're going to open two brackets, which the two brackets, the first one is going to be the smaller, and the second one is going to be a little bit big. So what you need to understand in these two brackets that are here is that the first two brackets, they're going to fill out two numbers, and the second bracket is going to fill out three numbers that is going to be there. And another thing that you need to understand is that what type of numbers that are going to go here and what type of number that are going to go on the second brackets, So the first two numbers that are going to go in the first brackets is going to be what? It's going to be a cube root of these two numbers that are there. Let me just repeat that again. The first two numbers that are going to be inside these two brackets is going to be the cube root of these two numbers that are here. What do I mean? Is that I'm going to take this number that is here, which is a cubed, and I'm going to cube root it, and you find that kind of an answer. And when you cube root this, I'm going to get a, which you're going to fill it here. And the second number is going to be a cube root of this one, which is the cube root of what? Of b cubed. Which when you cube root this, are going to get b. So here there's going to be a b, If you haven't understand it, please just replay it there and then you will understand. So the numbers that are going to be on this second bracket, there's going to be three numbers here. So which number are going to be there? This one is very, very easy. The first number that's going to be here, it will be the square root of this number. You're going to take this number that's here on this bracket and you square it. And when you square this one, you're going to get a. So this one is going to be a on this one, a squared. This is going to be a squared. And the number that's going to be on the third line there is going to be the square root of this b that is going to be there. Going to take this b and you square it, and this one is going to be b squared, And the number that is going to be inside here is going to be the multiplication. Let me just rub this one off. So the number is going to be in the middle. It's going to be a multiplication of this. We're going to take this one and multiply it with b, which is going to give you ab. And for this method, guys, shout out to Kevin Maths and Science. I got this method from him. You can go and watch his video. They are very detailed there. And shout out to him for this kind of method. It's very, very easy. So here we're going to take this one and multiply it here. So here we're going to have what? We're going to have ab, which is the multiplication of these two. So what you need to understand next is the signs, is the signs that are going to be there, because on these two numbers here there has to be a sign, here there has to be a sign, and here there has to be a sign. So which signs are going to be there once you understand that? So to find the signs, you have to use this method, which they call it SOAP method, You have to use this kind of method. They call it SOAP method. And for this one, shout out to Miss Martins, guys. I found this method from his videos. You can go and check out his YouTube channel. It got all those kinds of videos going to help you to nail absolutely everything in maths and science, So the SOAP, what does the SOAP mean, guys? The S, it stands for the same sign, and the O stands for the opposite signs, and the A and the P stand for always positive, always positive, always positive. And I will detail same sign, same sign and different opposite sign. Perfect, So what do we mean when we say same sign? We mean that the sign that is here, it has to be the same sign that is going to be on this first bracket that is going to be there. Let me repeat that. The sign that is here is going to be the same as the one that is going to be on your first bracket. Hence we say the same. So here there is going to be a negative, And then on the second one is going to be an opposite sign of what? Of the sign that is here, so it's going to be an opposite sign. So opposite of negative is positive, so here there's going to be a positive, so on this one it's going to be what? There is going to be always positive. So here we're going to have always positive number that is there. To memorize the signs that is here is you're going to use the SOAP method, and to understand what is going to be here, you're just going to follow the pattern that I just explained it to you now. And all these questions that are here, they all follow the same thing. Let's now tackle the questions and see how we're going to do it. So here's the first one. What you need to do is to open two brackets, which is like this. And what we need to do, first, there's going to be a number and there's going to be a number. We're going to cube root this one. We're going to cube root this x cubed, which we're going to get x. You're going to write x. And then we're also going to cube root this 8, which is going to give us 2. So here we're going to have 2, perfect. So the number is going to be here, and also here is going to be the square of this number. You're going to take x and you square it. It's going to be x squared. And the number that's going to be last, there's going to be the square of 2, which is going to be 4 there, perfect. So the number is going to be inside here of these two. Is going to be the multiplication, the multiplication of these two numbers that are here, 2 multiplied by x, which is going to give us 2x. So here we're going to have 2x. So for the signs, we always use the SOAP method, whereby it says that we have to have the opposite. We have to have the same sign first, which is the negative, and you're going to have the opposite as the one that is here, which is going to be positive, and this last one is going to be always positive. And we are done factorizing that one. Let's try the next one. So here's the next one. What we need to do is to open two brackets like this, one and the bigger one. What you need to do is to square this number. You're going to square this 64x cubed there. You are going to square root 8, square root 8, cube root 8, you're going to cube root this. Why do I keep saying square? You're going to cube root 8, So if you don't understand how can you cube root, what you're going to do, you're going to treat these separate terms. You're going to cube root this 64 and also cube root this x cubed there. Cube root these two, So when you cube root this one, you're going to get 4. When you cube root this, you're going to get x. So this is the same as what? As 4x. So here we're going to have 4x, perfect. So we're also going to do the same thing with the y. We're going to cube root a y cube, which is going to give us y. So here we're going to have y, perfect. So what we're going to do next, we're going to take this number. Look what I'm doing. Well, the number is going to be, and also here is going to be the square root of this one. We're going to take this 4x and we square it, So this one is going to give us 16x squared, So here we're going to have 16x squared, perfect. So the number is going to be there, and the last is going to be the square root of this one. We're going to this one and put the square, which is going to be a y squared. So the number that's going to be in the middle there is going to be the multiplication of these two, which is 4x multiplied by y, which is 4xy. So you're going to have 4xy. What about the signs? For the signs, we use the SOAP. The SOAP, it says what? It says that we have to have the same sign as this one, which is the same, and here we have to have the opposite, which is the positive. Here we have to always have positive. And then we are good to go, and we are done factorizing that one using the difference of cubes. Let's just take a look at the last one. So here's the last one. If you can take a look at these two numbers here, if you try by taking a calculator there and try to cube root this 5 here, you're not going to get a whole number. So I say that when you cube root and you don't find a whole number, or a natural number, actually, a whole number or a natural number, it means that kind of difference of cubes question, they have to first be factorized. So we're going to first factorize this one by taking out what is common between these two numbers. So what is common here is 5. And when we take 5, which number are going to multiply that's going to give us this 5x squared? If you don't know which number you're going to multiply and get this 5x cubed that is there, just take this 5x cubed and divide it with the common factor that you already have here. Divided by the common factor, you're going to be left with x cubed when you divide these two, perfect. And then for the 40, you're going to do the same thing. 40 divided by 5, you're going to get 8, so you're going to have -8. I'm detailing for those who don't understand how do they get those ones, So when we have this, now we can be able to do what? We can be able to use the difference of squares, because the number that is here is the difference of squares. It's the same question as this one, so I'm just going to just write it the way it was. So you're going to open two brackets, and you're going to find the cube root of this one is x, and then the cube root of this one is 2, and then the square root of this one is going to be x squared, the square root of this one is going to be 4, and then this multiplied by this is 2x, and you're going to have the same sign, positive. This is the same question as the one that we have done at the first, so this is how we factorize this one. This one, it will always carry 3 marks if it comes like this. So this is how we do the difference of squares, guys, and I hope this video has helped you to understand that. On our next video, we're going to take a look at the sum of cubes.